Welcome to Second Listen Saturday on the Parenting Roundabout podcast, where we share some fun moments from a past episode for your weekend listening pleasure. Look for new episodes every Monday through Friday.
Today, we're focusing on something parents are talking about forever and always. Books that tell them how to do their job.
Yeah, books. Did you guys used to be into parenting books? Yes. I mean, we know everything now, so we don't need them. But back in the days when our children were young and we were impressionable, I always had a shelf of parenting books. I've had some that I really liked and some that have helped me form my policy of take what you need, leave the rest. Sometimes there would be a really crummy book that would have one or two good insights, and I would add it to the pile. But then there's some that became Bibles. So I thought, since we're trying to have our finger on the pulse of what parents are talking about right now, I thought, why don't we take a look here at the beginning of a new year to see what the Amazon best-selling books on parenting are. And also, Amazon has a list of its most wished-for items. I guess these are things people have put on a wish list. And see if we're really with it about what parents are wanting to read right now, what authors are dishing out for parents to feel guilty about right now, to read right now, and whether any of these books look familiar to us at all. I have not picked up a parenting book, I think, since when I wrote for About.com, I used to do reviews of parenting books. So I read and read and read and read them. And then once that stopped, it was like, done. But I still have many sitting around unread. So it turns out these bestsellers in parenting update every hour. So when we looked at these lists and prepared ourselves early this morning, those books have changed. But I do notice with interest that way down on the bestseller list, but a little bit higher on the wished for list, is one of the books that I kind of considered a Bible back in the day, which is The Explosive Child by Ross Greene. Did you guys read that one?
No, not that one.
It was that from that parenting period where every book was the blank child, and this one,
right?
This was very useful. I didn't like the blank child format so much, but I liked that book. He had some really good tips for my son with fetal alcohol syndrome and just kind of managing kids who had trouble managing themselves. So that was excellent, and I see that's still there. I sadly do not see any books by Nominocle.
No, I know. I just checked.
Well, that's not right.
We need to find the list of best-selling books on education and parenting by people who have small podcasts.
There.
Where's that list?
Would that narrow it down to us? Would we be at the top of that?
I'm not sure. I bet there's other people with small podcasts who sell better than us. But
well,
darn.
it's a very, considering that it's a weird form of categorization, right? Like the bestseller is, or currently one near the top of the bestseller list is "Girl, Wash Your Face" by Rachel Hollis, which is basically a self-help book, and maybe there's some parenting in there, but not necessarily, that's not the focus.
My theory on why that's at the top of the parenting list is the parents see that and think, oh, I can give this to my daughter whose face I think needs to be washed, but she doesn't want to hear it from me, so I'll give her a book. See here, honey?
Someone else
Other
is
people need to wash
saying
their face.
But then there's also like Michelle Obama's memoir, which that's not a parenting book. She is a parent, but that doesn't make that a parenting book. There's a novel.
Yeah, I noticed that.
Aragon. Like this is some weird stuff. So.
Is this just, did they ask you, are you a parent when you buy things?
Right.
And then they've just put them on the parenting list? But there's also, there's a potty training book that is now and forever. Parents will be going, how do I do this?
Yeah, this is
I get
hard. Yes, that'll never end. That will always be in vogue.
Yes.
Although I feel like an entire book on the topic of potty training is possibly overkill. Like...
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's a book that you can hide in your room and say, I'm reading how to do it. Leave mommy alone right now.
And of course, there's that old standby, What to Expect When You're Expecting.
Yes.
And every other book after that.
Yep.
The one that, the thing that made me the most mad about that one was when it told me that eating an entire bagel was way too much.
Oh, really?
Yes.
For the kid or for you?
For me,
No.
when you're pregnant, it was like, too much carbs or some dumb thing.
Oh my goodness.
Wow. I didn't read
Well,
that part.
That right there.
I skipped that section.
Discredited.
Yes, exactly.
You need to go onto Amazon and leave them a 1-star review over that.
Right.
Yeah, sure. Lots of good information, but what's this business about not being able to eat a whole bagel?
Right.
Thumbs down.
Get it.
Absolutely.
That may have been in a previous edition because it's been a while.
Well, it's interesting, though. The mom's looking a little bit more stylish and a
Modern.
little older, a little modern.
They've upgraded their mom.
Yes,
have they?
they have.
They
I think
certainly
that
have.
might actually be the daughter of the original author, Heidi Murkoff.
Oh, really?
Huh.
Mm-hmm. It looks
Oh,
like
really?
her. I mean, it looks like the
Yep.
mother and that it could be the daughter.
Huh.
Oh.
So you can expect that you will be using your child as a model.
Yes.
There's looked like some classics. I mean, some things that I've heard of, though I never actually. I might have bought 7 Habits of Highly Effective Teens for my daughter at some point.
Mm-hmm.
Not that she read it, but
Yeah.
it's giving it to them is half the thing, right?
Oh, yeah.
That's your parenting responsibility is handing the book to the child.
Right.
After that, they can do what they want.
Exactly.
Uh-oh. My child's health record keeper. Yeah, I have about 10 of those.
I have about 0. Uh-oh.
I have empty ones. This is we'll talk about this a little bit later in the week, my habit of buying things that need to be filled out and then not filling them out. And they become lovely decorative dust gathering objects.
Right.
But I do see here, currently at number 8 as we chat, Mom's Family Calendar by Sandra Britton, which I buy my family for Christmas every year, and we put it on the side of the refrigerator. It is now on the brand new refrigerator. I highly recommend everybody. This is not roundup time, but Mom's Family Calendar by Sandra Boynton is excellent. It's one of those that has the columns where you can put each family member's complicated schedule. And it has a pocket across the bottom where you can put all those things that you don't know where to put them. And has lots of stickers and magnets.
But does your
fun
family actually refer to it?
I refer to it.
I know.
I make my daughter write her schedule on, and, I make everybody write their schedules on, or I write their schedules on, and then I know, instead of having to constantly ask, what hours are you working this week, to my husband or my daughter. All my loved ones have irregular schedules, so I do use it for that. I don't always manage to put appointments and things on, but you know what? My daughter is kind of the custodian of that, and so she does put things on it when I ask her to, or sometimes when I don't.
Well, that's
I gave her that how to keep a calendar book, and no.
And it actually worked.
And it actually worked. She did it. She does it.
That's impressive.
Yeah. So that's a good one. It's nice to see a familiar thing on these lists, so I feel like I'm not completely out of touch.
Mm-hmm.
But we have the self-driven child.
Oh.
The science and sense of giving your kids more control over their lives. Well, that's a mistake. Although if it was about making your kids take themselves places instead of you, that might be worth something.
Yes, my daughter is good at that now that
Your
she
daughter
has
is a self-driven child now.
Yes, now that she has a license.
Yeah.
And same with Nicole's.
Yeah. That sounds like a lot of pressure, though, that book. What
Yeah.
else do we have? The Whole Brain Child, 12 Revolutionary Strategies to Nurture Your Child's Developing Mind.
Well,
That also
Where
sounds
are
like a
we?
lot
Hang
of pressure.
on. Which one
Number
are you on?
17 on the bestseller list. The Whole Brain Child. Not to be confused with the Whole Grain Child. That's a completely different section of Amazon.
Now, I love these ones here. The 7 Principles of Making Marriage Work.
right.
Those are the ones that really drive me nuts.
Yeah.
Because it just doesn't really pertain to my life like 90% of the time.
Yeah. Well, None of this stuff does. Take the 10%, use it as you will. There's a book here called Experimenting with Babies. What the heck? 50 amazing science projects you can perform on your kid.
Wow. That sounds like a podcast. Every week they do one and talk about it.
Yeah. Today we covered our baby with Mentos and dropped them in a vat of water.
Now here's one I wish I had when my kids were smaller. Go the F to sleep.
Oh, yeah.
That's a good book. I've heard that. That seems like fun.
I wish I had that one.
Now, How to Talk So Kids Will Listen and Listen So Kids Will Talk. That's been around for a long time, right?
That's a classic, definitely.
Yes. Did you read that? And did you talk as instructed?
No.
And did they listen?
No.
I feel like so many of these books, like the real classic ones, I read before I had kids because I worked for magazines and I had to read them, like much the way you read them.
Then.
Terry, for work purposes rather than for your own kids. So that when by the time I actually had my own children, I was like, yeah, I've already read all that stuff. I'll just wing it from here.
Yeah, and so many of the parenting books I read were special needs specific.
Right.
So, of course, they're not here, sadly. Well, I mean, I guess it's a good thing, but there must be a list somewhere of, well, they broke it down into early childhood parenting boys, parenting girls, school-age children, single parents, and teenagers, but not special needs. Because there's a lot of good books that I recommend on those scores, but they ain't here.
Which I think we have discussed.
Yes, we have. The Explosive Child is there holding the place for all of the other ones, all of the blank childs that have to do with special needs of one sort or another. There's a new Strong-Willed Child.
Oh.
Is the child new, or it must be a new edition of the Strong-Willed Child?
Or are they
now,
strong-willed in new and different ways?
Well, I think we need to just keep looking for that list of very specific inclusion and
I do too.
Special education parenting books written by people with very small podcasts with
Such
almost
as
no audience.
Terry Morrow and Nicole
Yes,
Erdick.
exactly. We need the subset that are just by those two authors. Hey, y'all, go and buy our books in large numbers and we'll pop right to the top.
That's right.
After this podcast comes out, we're going to see a spike.
Yes.